Hello, my name is Amy Paulson. I'm the summer camp director at Stone Canyon Outdoor Adventures. Wanted to put together a video to review what day camp looks like and answer some frequently asked questions for you to use as a resource. Also want to let you know that there will be emails coming out as your camp date gets closer, sharing a lot of the information shared in this video. Emails from our registration network active sometimes are flagged as spam or filtered into the junk folder. Would encourage you to check those folders and mark emails from active as safe so that you receive communication from us about the summer. We are very excited to have your camper join us. We have a great plan for the summer and just are so excited to have camp get started. First, wanted to talk a little bit about our Stone Canyon staff. All of our staff are at least 18 years old and are first aid and CPR certified. They provide all supervision and facilitation of activities. The staff undergo 2 weeks of staff training where they train on all of our activities, but also train on things like group management, child psychology, how to mediate conflicts, kind of a full spectrum of things to help prepare them for campers to arrive for the summer. We are owned and operated by Douglas County School District, and so all of our summer camp staff are school district employees and go through state and federal background checks. All of our staff follow a rule of three, meaning that nobody is ever alone with anybody at any given time. That includes two campers, a counselor, and a camper, really any combination. We want to make sure that there is always a group of three. We also carry radios with us at all times, all of our staff that we use for communication. And we have a 1400 megahertz radio at camp that we can use to communicate directly with DCSD security and also connect with law enforcement if needed. Next, to talk about our expectations at camp. These expectations will be gone over with campers on the first day of camp, just to make sure we're all on the same page. But all of our expectations and behavior policies center around respect. So we expect that campers are respecting themselves, other people, and the environment here at camp. If a camper is struggling with respect at any time, they'll have a conversation first with their counselor and then with camp administration if needed. If the problem persists, we will call home to alert those at home of what is going on. If at any point a camper is behaving in a way that is unsafe to themselves or others, whether that is physical, mental, or emotional safety, we will send campers home if needed. Next, to talk about drop-off and then pickup. So drop-off will take place each morning at Douglas County High School from 8 o'clock to 8:20 a.m. There is busing provided from Douglas County High School to and from camp each day. The first day check-in will include making sure that we have all of the necessary paperwork for campers. We'll do a quick health screening to make sure we're not bringing anything communicable into camp. That will also be an opportunity to drop off any medications that are being sent to camp, and we'll check on camp store accounts. At that point, campers will hop on the bus. If you are choosing to provide your campers transportation to and from camp, drop-off takes place at a later time so that campers are arriving around the same time as the campers taking the busing. So drop-off at camp takes place from 8:45 to 9 o'clock a.m. And want to note that you will not be permitted onto our site before 8:45 a.m. as our staff will be busy preparing for the day and making sure that the site is ready for arrival. Do want to note, if you are driving to camp yourself, that there is not self-service at camp and for a certain radius around camp. And so encourage you to start your navigation while you still have service as you are heading into camp or downloading maps. Pickup will take place at Douglas County High School each day from 4:30 to 4:50 p.m. Anyone that is picking campers up needs to be listed as an authorized pickup. On the first day at drop-off, we will review all authorized pickups just to make sure we know who is permitted to pick up campers from camp. And anybody picking up a camper needs to have a photo ID to sign them out. On the final day of camp during pickup, medications will be returned and we'll review camp store account funds to get that returned to you. If you are providing your own transportation, pickup will take place on our site from 3:50 to 4:00 p.m. And again, the same thing as with drop-off. The gate will not be open. Cars will not be permitted onto property until 3:50 p.m. All campers are automatically enrolled in busing unless you indicated otherwise. You had a chance to indicate during registration what your plan was for transportation for your camper. And please email us if that plan has changed or if you want to confirm what option you selected. As far as the daily schedule goes, so I went over kind of drop off and pickup times. So everybody will be arriving to camp around 9:00 a.m. and that's when we'll get going with our day. From 9:00 to 9:30, we'll review morning announcements. On the first day, we'll go over expectations, but otherwise it will be kind of a little bit of unstructured playtime before we talk about the day. We'll give reminders about drinking water and putting on sunscreen and give time for that kind of first pass of sunscreen to be put on for the day before getting going with our activities. I'll talk about groupings in just a minute, but we'll have some small group activities and some large group activities over the course of the day. Each activity is about 50 minutes long. We'll have a morning snack before we do a large group activity at 10:45, followed by lunch. After lunch, we have 2 small group activities and then our camp store and free time. And then it will be time to send campers on their way. As far as activities and grouping go, campers will generally be grouped by age. If you have a group mate request, please email registration@stonecanyonedge.org so we can make sure to indicate that. We do our best to accommodate all group mate requests. I will note that our policy, if 2 campers of different ages have requested to be group mates, our policy is to group down, meaning that the older camper will be in a group with campers that are the same age as the younger camper, so potentially an 8-year-old with a group of 6-year-olds. Campers will participate in the same activities over the course of the session of camp, just on differing schedules. And then the group activity, lunch, and the free time and camp store will all be camp-wide with everybody all together. Activities include t-shirt decorating, group games like dodgeball, frisbee, or gaga ball, arts and crafts like friendship bracelet art, etc., things like a dance party or a nature scavenger hunt, that type of thing. The groups will be 15 campers with 2 staff with each group. And then in the event of bad weather, we have indoor locations predetermined and a slate of fun indoor activities if the activity that they're doing is not easily accommodated inside. As far as food at camp, so our chefs work hard to make sure we have plenty of good and healthy food available. During day camp, we will provide a morning snack and lunch for all campers. We're able to accommodate most food allergies and dietary needs and preferences. There may be some rare cases where supplemental food is sent to camp. We ask that during registration, which you have already done, you share as many details about your camper's dietary needs or allergies so that we have as much information as we can have. We are a nut-free facility, meaning we don't serve items with nut or nut oils. We also don't permit those items to be brought to camp. We may serve items that are processed in a facility where nuts are processed. If we have individuals with nut allergies, we'll make sure that they are being given items that are not processed in those shared facilities. During day camp, we recognize that some parents prefer to send their own snacks or lunches for their campers. That is fine. Do want to reiterate that no nuts are allowed at camp, and so we will check all food items that are sent to camp before they're eaten, just to ensure we're not having anything at camp that shouldn't be here. Our ultimate goal is for campers to be fed. We train our staff to observe what campers are eating and make sure that they seem to be enjoying what they're being served. If after a few bites it seems like a camper is just not jiving with a meal, we are able to offer them alternatives like a quesadilla or a sandwich just to make sure they're getting something to eat. If you have questions or concerns about any food, our chef's email, Kim Wolfram, is at the bottom of the screen there, and encourage you to reach out to her with any questions. As far as medications at camp, so we have a nurse on site at all times while campers are here. Any medications being sent to camp need to be in their original packaging with the dosage clearly labeled. So if a prescription med is being sent, it needs to be in the original prescription bottle with the prescription label on it. Campers will be either escorted to the nurse for medications to be administered, or the nurse will come find them, just depending on when that medication that is scheduled is needed. If it's a medication that is taken as needed by the camper, the nurse will check in with them, and also they can indicate to their counselor if they need to see the nurse. Any medications being sent to camp, in addition to needing to be in their original packaging, also need a medical release form submitted with them. This is for all medications, regardless of if it's a prescription, over-the-counter, supplement, etc. We need a medical release form completed and signed by a doctor to accept it and administer it at camp, and that is per our licensing requirements from the state. We do have a camp supply and standing orders for Tylenol, ibuprofen, Benadryl, burn cream, Calagel, which is an anti-itch gel, cough drops, Tums, and Zyrtec. When you registered your camper, you had the chance to indicate if you gave permission for any or all of those or none of those medications to be administered to campers. If you did indicate that that was okay, there is no need for you to bring your own supply or complete a medical release form for any of those medications. Next, want to talk about what to pack. Each day, please make sure you are sending your campers with a small day pack so that they have something to carry their water bottle, their sun protection, so sunscreen, a hat, sunglasses. We also encourage a rain jacket or a warm layer every day. Here in Colorado, you never know what the weather is going to do on any given day, so making sure to have something to layer up if needed is important. And also bug spray. Please label items with campers' names and initials so that they can be easily returned. We do our best to help campers remember to keep their items with them, but invariably there are lost and found items that we try hard to find the owners to, and if there's a name or initials on it, it's much easier to find the original owner. We ask that you please don't send campers to camp with the following items. So no weapons should be sent to camp, including pocket knives or lighters. We ask that you don't send your camper with their own food unless you have pre-arranged that with us. We are tech-free as a camp, so we ask that you don't send your campers with electronics. If they are being sent, they need to be kept away in a backpack for the entire day. Any medications that aren't checked in with our staff should not be sent to camp. And then please don't send your campers with toys, stuffed animals, blankets, things like that. We have a lot of fun activities planned, and campers that bring those items, sometimes they're either easily lost or get dirty, or it can cause campers to feel upset if some people have their toys and some don't. And so we ask that those stay at home. As far as water and sunscreen goes, both very hot ticket items at camp. We encourage and monitor water intake as far as our staff goes. So we will give regular reminders that campers should be drinking water. Make sure that they're, all having several sips over the course of each activity. If a camper forgets or loses their water bottle, we have loaner water bottles that we can let them borrow until they have their own. We also have insulated jugs placed around our property so that water bottles can be refilled over the course of the day. For sunscreen, regular sunscreen application is highly stressed and monitored by staff. Camp staff carry sunscreen that can be given to campers if permission was given during registration. Staff can also help with sunscreen application if necessary. We often will do mimic me. I'm going to put some on my nose and rub it in, and now on my cheeks, that type of thing, but are able to help with that process if permission is given by the camper and if they're not able to do it on their own. Homesickness. We also train our staff on how to recognize and navigate homesickness. Even though campers are just here for a few hours, it is something that we observe at times. We talk with campers about how it's a normal experience and a way to feel. Typically, with our packed schedule, it's not something that we see a lot of. If homesickness arrives, our staff helps process that experience, tries to help with distraction or reflection, goal setting, that type of thing. Generally, we don't allow phone calls home, as in our experience, that can make the situation worse. To prepare your camper to come to camp, we encourage you to focus on how excited you are for their camp experience, to hear about their adventures. Try to not dwell on, like, I will miss you so much, or the dog will miss you, that kind of thing can sometimes exacerbate the problem. The camp store will take place each day from 3 o'clock to 3:45 p.m. during the free time block. During Camp Store, we have small snacks and goodies that are available for purchase, including Gatorade, ice cream bars and popsicles, some candy items, some salty items. Camp Store is totally digital, so we don't accept any cash. All accounts are set up online. There will be an email sent to you with instructions for how to set up an account. We'll also have an information sheet that is available during check-in. Apparel items are also available for purchase at the camp store or can be pre-ordered. Camp store account money that is below $5 is not refundable. If there is an amount above that, we can refund that, but anything below that will be automatically added to our tuition assistance fund to help kids come to camp that are not able to otherwise. And we'll review any remaining camp store funds at the end of the week during checkout. To set up a camp store account online, you navigate to our website, and then across the top, there's the apparel tab. When you click on apparel, there's an option to set up a camp store account in increments of $5. Required paperwork. So we are licensed by the state of Colorado, the Office of Early Childhood. Per our licensing regulations, all campers are required to have a few items of paperwork. So we need a health physical form and a current immunization record. The physical form can be on any form. We do have a optional form available on our website if that is helpful, but any form from your doctor's office or your school will work for us. And it needs to have been completed in the last 12 months. The immunization record does need to be on a very specific form per our licensing requirements. It needs to be on the Colorado Certificate of Immunizations and signed by a physician. Ideally, forms are uploaded to your active profile 1 week prior to camp. We will accept physical copies at check-in, but prefer them to be uploaded in advance so that we can look through the paperwork and make sure everything is set before camp starts. To find that required paperwork, if you go to Summer Day Camp, partway down the page, there will be an icon for the Enrolled Families Hub. You'll click on that and scroll down to required paperwork. And there we have a list of the various paperwork that is required and links to the different forms. The medication release form is only required if medications are being sent to camp. So if no medications are being sent to camp, that form does not need to be completed. If you have any questions, please reach out at any time to summercamp@stonecanyonedge.org. We are happy to answer any questions that you have. We're very, very excited for the summer to come up and have your camper join us, and look forward to having a lot of fun with them. Thank you so much. Bye.